Hello everyone, welcome back. Welcome back to Satisfactory. It's been a while since I put out a video. It's been like 2 weeks. But yeah, I have been busy. It's not like I was not playing the game, but it's just that I did not anticipate how much work it would take for me to connect the entire world using trains. So honestly, it's worth the effort. You need to spend a lot of time building the infrastructure initially when you set up the train system. It takes a long time. I did not anticipate how much effort it would take, but yeah. But now everything that I need is currently connected in my entire world. Things are flowing. There are lots of trains moving everywhere. Lots of resources coming to the station, so I don't have to worry anymore. The next part will be just me building my next space elevator factory, and yeah, over here I'll be building my next space elevator factory, and I already have the resources, so it should be pretty quick is what I'm hoping for. Hopefully, let's see. But yeah, all the resources are coming here, and whatever resources I need, I'm just putting it through the manifold setup because I don't need to balance anything. The reason being, as long as I have enough throughput through trains, everything will work properly here. But once it enters the system, every single one of these is perfectly balanced. Every single one of these is working at like 100% efficiency. For example, if I just go here, it's at 100% efficiency, like the specific manufacturer. Similarly, every single thing is at 100% efficiency. The main reason being, I built everything using blueprints. So whenever I made blueprints, I made sure everything was 100% efficient. And I put things like this with specific numbers everywhere to make sure I get those numbers in. And honestly, I don't need to think about numbers too much because honestly, I have too much of throughput. Like there are lots of resources coming in through here. So I really don't need to worry about anything. So yeah, but finally, everything started working. Things are looking good. Things are looking chaotic, especially over here. Like when I try to fly through here, it looks so nice. Everything is moving. It's really chaotic. It really feels like unorganized, but it's organized because everything is balanced and it's such. And mostly nothing is clipping through each other, so it looks really good. And yeah, everything is working. Finally, things come here, and it becomes the assembly director system. And then there's a huge storage. I don't need that, but still, it's there. And finally, things come here, and this is my first assembly storage system. And this is how it looks. Pretty nice. Honestly, I have no idea what to make out of this. It's unique, I guess. I don't know what the devs were mimicking to get this structure. I have no idea. I don't know. Yeah, whatever. So yeah, from there it goes into the space elevator, and yeah, so the first space elevator part is done. This is awesome. I'm so happy that things are working. And yeah, now coming to the rail network. So in my last video, I explained my thought process in building my rail network. So if you want to know the complete details of how I am connecting my entire world through the rail network, please check out my previous video. I have explained it in detail. But to give you a gist, I have this main factory station, but this will not be like a place where all resources come in through all parts of the world. This is just my factory station, right? Like my main factory station. And then there is a centralized station. This is where resources from all throughout the world come and collect. And from centralized station, there is just a to and fro motion of trains to my factory station. So at most, there will be 10 trains traveling through here. It won't be more than that. At most, there'll be 10 trains because there are 10 stations. But to the centralized station, it will have 3 different inputs is what I'm thinking. I have only made one input. There'll be another input, another over here, and another input over here. So this input which I have made is called the West Loop. Like Coal West is a station name, for example. So I am calling this as West Loop. And what it does is it collects resources from west side of the map and collects it over here. Similarly, I'll make another station over here which collects resources from northern part. And similarly, I'll make another station which collects resources from eastern part. Right now, I don't have those two because I don't need it just yet. But yeah, once it collects through all these stations, all of those resources will balance properly and then come into this centralized station. Like it'll just go into the centralized station through belts. It's not through trains. If you make it through trains, again you'll it goes into a huge issue. So you have to connect the west loop, north loop, or east loop through belts so that there are no more issues. And so that's the reason these two are so close to each other, so that I can connect them through belts. And resources coming in from all three stations are getting perfectly balanced, so that resources in the centralized station are perfect. So once the resources come into my factory, it's perfect. Like all the different freights will have equal amount of resources. So that's what I'm aiming for. So yeah, with that, yeah, things are moving. I had to make lots of stations. I had to build a brand new casing factory because I did not have enough throughput. So I made a brand new one, which is utilizing 1200 bauxite to make casings. So there's one pure bauxite node which I'm using. Then I made some plastic and rubber stations over here. Then there is like coal, copper, limestone, iron, chyterium over there, quartz, and then there is SAM. So each of these stations, like for example, this iron output is taking in iron ore from lots of different places. Like there are some ore nodes over here which it's taking, some over here it's taking. So my main aim is each of these stations, right, has 2 inputs and 2 outputs. So for inputs, each of these can take in a total of 1200. Like a belt through here can take in 1200, belt through there can take in 1200. Which so input I have to provide that to just fill one freight platform. So there are 4 freight platforms. So ideally speaking, so I can make 1200 times 8, right? So that is my ideal case scenario. Like how much is that? 1200 times 8, 9600. Yeah. So 9600 resources is the input that one station can handle. Once it reaches that input threshold, that's when you need to make a new station. So that's a lot. You don't need too much. So that's the reason that I am happy with just having just one station at one place. It can pick up resources from nearly the entire biome. I think this biome needs a little bit more of some, I think it's iron that it needs a bit more. Similarly, there are like the northern biome needs a lot more there are a lot of resources in northern biome. So you definitely need more than one station, but still you don't need too much. Maximum of 3, I think, per biome. But yeah, but because I had to set up all of this network, it took such a long time. And there are so many trains. There are like 15 trains traveling everywhere, which is awesome. And the next part is how I built the loops, how I built the rail networks. So the first station that I built was this iron output. So I used the natural terrain over here. There is a cave system, and I brought train through here and I connected it to this station, right? So that was the rail network. Then the stations that I built were these 3. So this one I just connected to the originally like existing network. So the train comes here, it goes like this and goes to the station. As you can see, it's taking a bit of a loop. Like it's not going straight like this. It's taking a little bit of loop. And this one is just directly connecting over here and connecting to this. So that's fine. Now this one though, the plastic and rubber, I was really debating about this. Like I did not want to connect this all the way over here, because what that would happen, that would do is like the trains would take all like an extremely roundabout way to get to the station. It's just waste of time, right? That means lesser throughput and all of that. So what I did was I made a shorter path through here and I connected to the station. Now, because I made a shorter path, now I have the flexibility of connecting this loop also to this shorter path. So I connected this to this shorter path. So then the train can decide if it wants to take this upper loop or the lower loop. And whichever is shorter, it will just take, which is awesome. Honestly, one of these stations is actually taking the southern loop, which is really nice to see that it's taking the shortest loop that it wants. So in an ideal scenario, when I have built my entire world through trains, like there are various loops going everywhere, the train will automatically choose the shortest path and just take it, right? There is no one fixed path, like you don't decide anything. That's my ideal case scenario that I'm thinking about. And honestly, I think it'll work. So yeah, so far so good. Everything is working, everything is pretty nice. And every single station that I have built, I just did little bit of tweaking to change the designs. I was experimenting with rail systems like stations, how to set up stations and such. So like for example, rubber and plastic station over here is like a symmetric station somewhat. So yeah, so there are various different things that I was tweaking. Nothing too much, nothing too drastically different, but yeah. So this was my world loop, and all the resources are coming in. This one has all the resources coming through here, and then this one has plastic, rubber, and casings. There are two free stations. Yeah, two stations which basically are like coal and sulfur, which I'm not bringing in because I don't really need it. So yeah, it's perfect. Everything is good. With the next space elevator part that I start building, it should be a lot easier, a lot simpler because all the resources are there. But yeah. Yes, one last thing before I close it off. So when I built this space elevator part, I had completely forgotten about fluids, and it needed water and nitrogen. Water was fine. It was right next to me, so I can use that. And also there is some water down the valley, so I can use that. And then there is this huge pit over here with lots of water, so I can just use that water. But nitrogen, on the other hand, is not close by at all. Nitrogen is extremely far. So nitrogen was all the way over here, and there was some existing network over there, so I just brought this, right? But there isn't too much nitrogen. I am already using part of this nitrogen node over somewhere over here, quite a bit. So my factory, there is just a little more than this, what I'm bringing, that is left. So if my new factory needs a lot more nitrogen, I'll have to bring all the way. The next nitrogen node close by is somewhere over there, I think. So it's really, really far. Oh, first of all, I need to, yeah, enable resources. So yeah, water is fine. Water is over here, but nitrogen is very far away, like there. So it's over there. This is the nitrogen node that I'm bringing, by the way. Honestly, these two nodes are like close by, but I had an existing infrastructure, so I got this, but I have to build a huge infrastructure to bring these nitrogen resources. So that's one thing that I'll have to work through for the next one. I had completely forgotten about nitrogen, but one good thing about nitrogen is you don't need pumps, so that's pretty nice. That's extremely nice actually. So yeah, so I can bring nitrogen, that's fine. But yeah, with that, I'm done with this. I went through my space elevator factory, perfectly operational, it's working, the resources are being manufactured. I went through the rail network, the entire loop that I built, all the different stations that are connected through various different ways. Yeah, everything is working. Everything is a lot nicer now. Yeah, things are going smoothly. So the next space elevator part will be right next here, right next to this. The next space elevator part should be a little bit more complex than this, I assume, because this was the easiest thing, I think. The easiest space elevator part. So the next one should be over there. The third space elevator part will be on top of this. Like there is no space over here. I have to make it on top of this. That's fine. It'll go to the sky over there. It's fine. So third and fourth. Fourth one should be extremely... I have not even unlocked the fourth space elevator part, by the way. The whatever that is called, the cube thingy. I have not even unlocked that. So yeah. So with that, thank you everyone. See you guys in my next video. Bye.